Okay, here we are for another Training Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about prescribing deadlifts and how for some people that might not be exactly what they need. They need that pattern, but we might be moving them into a different type of deadlift because of either how tall they are, maybe they're not quite ready for deadlifts, maybe they've got a history of a lower back injury, maybe their hips aren't really mobile enough to kind of get under it safely to pull correctly. So when we talk about barbell deadlifts, for the most part, I don't want to say most people, but a lot of people can kind of get under this thing. They can throw their hips back, the angles look all nice. Some have maybe a little bit of a squattier deadlift depending on how long their arms are, how long their femurs are, all the things that go along with that. Some people are a little bit more butt high, but can still keep and maintain a neutral spine, and they can pull the barbell up off the ground. For some folks, mostly really tall folks, or people that might not be able to get under the barbell, like maybe they got really long legs and a shorter torso, and so they're really kind of cramping to get their body into position, and they've got a flexed spine. It's just like if you're looking at it as a coach or with a training partner or whatever, you're like, oh, that doesn't look very good. It's mostly because it might be the way they're built, they're not going to fit under a barbell very well, and that's okay. It doesn't mean like, oh, not going to do any deadlifts, I kind of got a get out of jail free card. What we'll do instead is have them get on a trap bar or a hex bar, okay? If you're at our gym, this is the one we have. Other gyms have ones that look like this, and then some have like a welded on elevated handle, so it's actually even easier to pick up. But what we love about the trap bar deadlift is you get in the middle of this thing, and so the weight's right in the middle of your body instead of out in front of you, so it's a little bit easier. So great for people learning this movement. It's a little bit safer. Again, a little bit maybe of a safer movement, someone coming back from some sort of back injury or hip injury. But for the taller folks or for people that don't fit quite well under a barbell, they can get in this thing a little bit easier and not worry about that weight being out in front of them. They can squat a little bit more, and they can still get a good hip pattern, and this thing's now just in between them and out in front, instead of out in front of them, and they can get that pattern in that way. So the point here is us talking about just because you can't do a deadlift doesn't mean you shouldn't do deadlifts or some sort of hip hinge exercise. But what might be the most logical path forward is getting under this hex bar deadlift, and it'll feel a little bit easier. You're not cheating, you're not missing out, you're just doing it in a little bit of a different way. So if you haven't tried it and you just feel like deadlifts have always hurt you, or you don't feel like you do them well, or you've been told you don't do them well, this is the answer.